Hey fight fans, this is Richard Schaefer and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Right, hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. I'm feeling a little bit ropey myself, lack of sleep. For those of you who don't know, I was trying to do a live stream last night from the UK's #1 most haunted location, Chillingham Castle. Not that I believe in that kind of stuff, but it's a Halloween special, so I thought I'd give it a go live. And we were promised good Wi-Fi in the rooms and whatever. That just didn't turn out to be the case whatsoever. So even though I tried to do the live stream from there to go into like different rooms to try and raise a bit of money for the Duchenne charity, the Wi-Fi ultimately let me down. So I do apologise, I really do. Anyway, so I was asked the questions, have I seen the interview, the podcast with Geordie and Tyson Fury? Last night, of course, I hadn't seen it, but this morning I did watch it. And to say that Geordie roasted Tyson Fury would be a bit of an understatement. He didn't just roast Tyson Fury, he had Tyson Fury on all fours, stuck an apple up his backside and an orange in his mouth, and then proceeded to roast him. That would be the best way to put how that interview went, how that podcast went. Now, to start with, I wasn't too sure if this was some kind of staged podcast. Now, I don't believe it was staged, but I'm saying that to my initial reaction for like the first few minutes, because like Tyson Fury came in pretty much arrogant from the opening sentence where I've only got 40 minutes and blah, blah, blah. When that's the kind of thing you kind of say before you start the interview. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to just put it out there because that comes across as like real arrogant. It does. But of course, he was asked questions about KSI. What do you think of KSI's last fight? He said he didn't watch it. He doesn't care about the YouTube boxing. He wants to watch real fights. Well, only a couple of months ago, he was saying how the YouTube boxing is great for boxing because getting eyes and ears onto the sport. And of course, his brother Tommy was linked with Jake Paul and more recently KSI and all that kind of stuff. Now suddenly he's not interested. This is a weird and wonderful world of Tyson Fury, right? Then, of course, he was asked about Conor Benn, that situation. And, yeah, I understand why he skirted around that issue, saying it's none of my business what people do, blah, 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 blah. Of course, because he was worried that Geordie was going to hit him with his own PD charges of the past, right? He didn't want to be answering those kind of questions. So, again, I understood that part. And, again, as far as Geordie is concerned, I have been asked over the years, do I know Geordie, Brian? No, I don't know him personally. I've never met him personally. I've interacted with him on social media way back when he was, well, before he really became popular, of course. This is the time when he's talking about Newcastle players going on the Newcastle fans, all that kind of stuff. But no, I don't know him. We're both from Newcastle, of course. We both have different accents for different reasons. But no, I don't know him. But I do know Lawrence Osoweki, who does know the true Geordie. Anyway, so he started to ask questions about Anthony Joshua. Why did you keep on putting deadlines, time limits on Anthony Joshua, but you didn't do it with Derek Chisora? And this is what I've been saying for quite some time. Now, Tyson, he doesn't like hard questions. He doesn't like when people don't just accept his answers. He doesn't. And a lot of the people out there like IFL and Boxing Social and all these kind of guys, they're not going to rebound off of his answers. They're just going to accept his answer and move on without probing it, without questioning it, without criticising it. However, Geordie showed how you're supposed to do it. And this is what I was going to do when I tried to interview Tyson Fury a couple of years ago now, is just before lockdown. But then Goldstar wanted to charge me a stupid amount of money. The only person to have ever wanted to charge me money is Tyson Fury's team, right? What can you do? But Geordie, he went in on Tyson Fury. But of course, these other YouTubers like IFL and whatever, TalkSport, they won't do that because they want access. Tyson Fury will kick people out of press conferences. He will block them like he done with that Eddie, whatever his name is, ES News, whatever. So he does do that. So they don't want to be kicked out. So of course they're not asking the proper questions and then rebounding off of his answers. Geordie was. And it was a very, very important question that a lot of us have asked. Why is it that you gave Derek Chisora more time to get the fight over the line than you did Anthony Joshua, and you didn't put deadlines on Derek Chisora, or at least publicly, but you did with Anthony Joshua? Apparently he has some kind of bet with Frank Warren that Anthony Joshua won't take the fight, all that kind of good stuff. Was it 10 grand, whatever it was? Tyson Fury won that bet. Well, of course he won that bet because he was the one who pulled out the fight, right? It was him that set 24-hour deadlines and for a huge super fight where a lot of things need to be worked out. A lot of things. But with Derek Chisora, those things don't exist. But yet he gave Derek Chisora more time. So it's a very good question from True Geordie. Tyson didn't like it. And of course, he started going in on True Geordie saying almost like True Geordie can't question him because he hasn't done anything even close to what Derek Chisora has done and whatever else. And yes, of course, he is correct about that. But that doesn't mean you can't ask questions. That doesn't mean you don't know boxing. But I find most people who haven't put on boxing gloves and gone to the ring probably know more about boxing than what boxers do. Yes? But that's neither here nor there, I suppose. But the thing is that he's saying how Anthony Joshua, he's lost 3 of his last 5 fights. What he didn't tell you was the fact that Anthony Joshua avenged that first loss, and his last 2 fights were against Alexander Usyk, where a lot of people and a lot of websites out there as well put Alexander Usyk as pound for pound number 1 and the best heavyweight of this particular era, above Tyson Fury. Now, I don't personally believe that. I think Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight of this particular era, or at least so far. Again, he was talking about legacy and whatever else. But for him to mention that about Joshua, the fact that he's lost 3 of his last 5 fights, well, Derek Chisora has lost pretty much every time he stepped up. Granted, a couple of those losses shouldn't have been losses, that's for sure. And his last fight where he did win against Pulev, a lot of people feel Pulev won that fight. So it kind of swings it roundabouts. So you can't say that Anthony Joshua, who's lost 3 fights, avenged one of them, but yet Derek Chisora, who's lost 12, and Derek Chisora is a more valuable, more worthy opponent. But the thing is, Tyson Fury's beaten Derek Chisora twice already. In the rematch, he beat him pretty much just using southpaw, to the point where Frank Warren pretty much overrode Don Charles to pull Derek Chisora out of the fight. Frank Warren, who not so long ago was saying Derek Chisora should retire, he's got no business even being spoken about in the same sentence as a Tyson Fury, let alone in the same ring. Those kind of words, right? But yet here we are. And Frank Warren's using BoxRec as a reason to fight Derek Chisora. BoxRec. Tyson Fury is not a BoxRec world champion. He's a WBC champion. So that's the rankings that you go down. But again, you see, Fury, he's saying how but people are interested in this third fight with Derek Chisora. Firstly, he's doing it from a legacy point of view, so he can have 2 trilogies where he won the fights. Okay, but that's a cherry pick, though, is a reality. Muhammad Ali didn't do that for cherry picks. He'd done it for legacy. He was doing it because these people were in his way and he needed to get somewhere, and he just happened to have a couple of trilogies, right? Tyson Fury is purposely looking for a trilogy. But again, you see, he's saying how it's legacy. But then in the very next breath, he said he don't care about legacy. Of course, when he's asked about fighting Joshua, fighting Usyk, fighting Joyce, and these kind of guys, well, I don't really care about legacy. I don't care what people think. I don't care about it. Well, you do, because you just said you did. That's why you're fighting Derek Chisora for a third time. But he says how people are interested in the third fight because over 50,000 people have already bought tickets. Right, okay, so over 50,000 people bought tickets. What are we, about a week or so, whatever it is, after tickets went on sale? Would I be right in that, about a week or so? And it hasn't sold out, has not sold out. But Anthony Joshua against Alexander Usyk in the very same stadium sold out in how long? It was about 24 hours. Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte at Wembley Stadium, which holds, 32,000 more, sold out within the hour. Why? Because people want to see Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. It wasn't the Tyson Fury Roadshow. It was Fury versus Whyte. That's what they're interested in. I'm not saying that Dillian Whyte sold out Wembley Stadium. I'm not saying that. I'm saying put them both in together. That's what people wanted to see. Okay, the fight didn't live up to what we all wanted. It will never go down as a classic, no doubt. But people were interested in that fight. People are not interested in Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora. If Tyson Fury was a huge superstar, then he would have sold out that fight with Derek Chisora within, 24 hours? But he couldn't. He can't. It's still not sold out. There's a reason for that. But again, some of his fanatical fans will make up excuses. But anyway, back on to True Geordie. He was absolutely correct. And he's right to ask those questions and bounce and react off those questions. And Tyson Fury, he did get very, very ratty with him. Why? Because he doesn't like it. He likes people to go, oh, okay, Tyson. Oh, fair enough. Ha, 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 ha. That's what he likes. He doesn't like being probed. He doesn't like being pointed out by facts. You should not be fighting Derek Chisora for the WBC World Heavyweight Championship. You should not be. There are plenty of other fighters out there who you could have fought, but aren't. Most notably, of course, Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce did say that he would fight Tyson Fury. He did say that. Well, ideally, he preferred to do it on December 17th, but if December the 3rd, he'll take it. His own manager, his manager, said the same thing. Now, yes, Joe Joyce did say that, he probably wouldn't be ready for a Tyson Fury fight on December the 3rd. Was he told to say that? Was he asked to say that? I don't know. Listen, I don't know. But Fury could have postponed and waited just 2 more weeks or something to give us a Joe Joyce fight. He could have done that. But so he wants to hide behind the fact, well, I want to fight Alexander Usyk in February or March or whatever. Okay, so push back the Alexander Usyk fight by 2 weeks if it's really that much of a big deal. Because it's not signed in contract what date you're fighting Alexander Usyk. There's no contract there with a set date, is there? See, it's all just excuses. He never wanted the Tyson. He never wanted the Anthony Joshua fight. He doesn't particularly want the Alexander Usyk fight, I don't think. But there again, Usyk didn't make it too clear by saying how he wanted time off himself. And fair play, he wants time off. You know, he spent the best part of 9 months, 6 months, whatever it is, in camp. You remember the date kept changing with Anthony Joshua. But ultimately, well done to True Geordie. Well done. Absolutely roasted Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury acted like a little bitch. Cried about it, suck my balls and blah, blah, blah. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, who knows? Maybe the whole thing's just hype. You never know. Don't put nothing past Tyson Fury. Put nothing past him. Honestly. But if he's serious, he's never going to interview with True Geordie again. Why? Because you don't interview with somebody who actually asks you proper questions. But did he say the same thing about Sky Sports? He's never going to interview with Sky Sports again because I asked him about Daniel Kinahan and whatever. People are doing their jobs, and you don't want to answer those questions. If you don't want to answer those questions, then quit doing interviews then. Full stop. But anyway, what can you do? Well done, Brian, from the True Geordie. Well done. Well done. IFL, everyone else, take notice of what you're supposed to do. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.